Hello, good evening. Sport, politics and education all got hammered by the coronavirus this afternoon in a series of announcements that will affect pretty much all of us.
The local elections will now take place next May, so that's 2021. So elected politicians will serve for an additional 12 months. Teaching at Bristol University will stop next week, although UWE is carrying on as normal.
But if you were thinking about whether or not to risk the football tomorrow, the decision has been taken for you. All league games are off. Let's join Andrew Plant, who's outside the home of Bristol Rovers this evening. Andrew.
Yeah, there should be 5 matches for our local teams tomorrow. 22 fixtures, in fact, up to and including the 3rd of April. They are all off. The statement from the English Football League today said they haven't taken that decision lightly, but they say they have to put the welfare of players, staff and fans, of course, first during this coronavirus crisis. And they say things should be back to normal by the 4th of April, but they say at the earliest. And that means, of course, this could go on even longer.
This is a situation that no one could have foreseen coming just a few weeks ago. A sporting shock so widespread it is impossible now to know just how severe its effects might be.
Some are gutted, really gutted, and can't understand it. Some are more, let's get it done now.
For West Country clubs, it means weeks of silent stands, financial losses in the tens, perhaps hundreds of thousands of pounds, and the question, will every club survive?
We're going to lose about 5 home games, so we'll lose the net revenue from that. It's a small part of the season, maybe 20% of the season. So gate revenues themselves, they may be 20-30% of the club's overall revenue. So, it's an impact, but it's not going to kill us. It may be different for some other clubs. There are a couple of clubs in the EFL struggling at the moment to pay players, so it may be a bigger problem for them.
The question for clubs now is how long until their stands see fans in them again, and in the meantime, can their finances cope without the ticket sales they so desperately need?
The Football League said this action has been taken due to the increasing numbers of clubs taking steps to isolate players and staff. Clubs are advised to suspend indefinitely player appearances, training ground visits and fan meetings. The Rovers manager Ben Garner tweeted, "Ultimately, the health and welfare of everyone is more important than football." And Bristol City Chief Executive Mark Ashton said this decision has not been taken lightly and the health and well-being of players, staff and supporters is paramount. On behalf of the club, I'd like to thank you for your continued support and understanding and would reiterate that health protection is a top priority for everyone at the moment.
And normally we come down here and watch the football results. If City's away, we come down here and watch the results and whatever come through. We'll have a bet on it. Now that's all changed, isn't it? It's going to be what we're going to do at the weekends.
Many questions still remain. Will insurance cover the losses? Should games have continued behind closed doors? And can clubs survive financially with weeks, at least, without a single ticket sold? Andrew Plant, BBC Points West in Bristol.
And it's